Welcome to Monday Morning Quarterback from Cannon Church in Snellville, Georgia. I'm Tim Emmett, the lead pastor at Cannon, and on Monday mornings we connect the Christian faith, the game of football, and the week ahead. Welcome to Season 3 Wild Card Edition. As you may know, the NFL recently celebrated the 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception, the most important play in Steelers history, the most important play by a vote of fans and sports writers in NFL history. In case you don't know the story, it was on December 23rd, 1972 in the divisional round playoff game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Oakland Raiders. Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The Steelers at that point in 1972 in their 40-plus history had never won a playoff game. They had never even scored a touchdown in a playoff game, and it looked like both of those depressing streaks would continue because there was 22 seconds left in the game. The Steelers were down 7-6. They had the ball on their 40-yard line. 60 yards separated them from the goal line. It was 4th and 10. Time enough for one last desperate play, trying to get a first down, trying to keep the game going. The ball was snapped. Terry Bradshaw, the Steelers quarterback, dropped back to pass. He was immediately pressured from his left, so he rolled to his right. He eluded a couple other would-be tacklers and then threw the ball deep downfield toward Frenchie Fuqua, a Steelers running back who was in the middle of the field. It would have been enough for a first down, but as the ball arrived, so did Jack Tatum, the Raiders' safety. There was a huge collision. The ball was batted away, but then Franco Harris, the Steelers' other running back, appeared out of nowhere, scooped up the ball before it hit the turf, and then raced the remaining 40 yards for a touchdown. The Steelers won the game. It was the play more than any other that kicked off, that launched the Steelers into the dynasty that they became in the 70s. And as I mentioned, it's been voted the greatest play in NFL history, not just Steelers history. Here's part of the story that you may not know. If you knew all that, you might not know this. Art Rooney, the Steelers owner, the beloved patriarch of the Steelers franchise, did not see the play. When it was 4th and 10 with 22 seconds to go and it seemed like defeat was almost guaranteed, Rooney got into the elevator that led from the owner's box to the locker room because he wanted to be there when his players came off the field. He wanted to congratulate the Raiders and then comfort the Steelers. And so he was in the elevator when Bradshaw threw the pass and Tatum knocked it away and Harris scooped it up and then ran in for the touchdown. He was in the elevator when he heard a tremendous roar, kind of felt the whole stadium shake. He knew something good had happened, but he didn't know what. He had to wait for the elevator doors to open and then find someone to ask, what happened? In a very similar way, Terry Bradshaw, the Steelers quarterback, on the field threw the pass, but then got tackled. Did not see what happened. He just heard the roar. He knew it was their fans. He knew something good had happened, but he had to get up, find a teammate, and ask, what happened? You know, we live in a world right now that is marked by kind of multiple overlapping crises. There's a lot of uncertainty and high anxiety. Our world has been described as volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous, VUCA for short. No one really wants to live in a world like that. And yet for those who follow Jesus, for the Church of Jesus Christ, in the midst of all that uncertainty, in the middle of all those multiple overlapping crises, we can be a community of celebration. We can be and should be a community of joy, such infectious, contagious, compelling, loud joy that people are compelled to ask, what happened? Why? How? How can we be a people of that kind of celebration? How can we be a church of such contagious, conspicuous, loud joy in a world like this one? Well, the answer is pretty simple. We say it very often when we celebrate communion. It's a shorthand summary of the gospel. Christ has died. Christ is risen. Christ will come again. When our eyes and our hearts are fixed on Jesus, when our community has gathered around Jesus, when our focus is not on the past as we remember it, but the future as God, through Christ, has revealed it. When we remember the gospel, the good news that Christ has died, Christ is risen, Christ will come again, we've already won. Victory is assured. We can start celebrating right now. We can be and should be a community of such conspicuous joy, contagious joy, infectious celebration that people are moved to ask, what happened? So the game plan for this week is pretty simple. celebrate. Remind yourself daily that Christ has died, Christ is risen, Christ will come again. That's the good news. However uncertain the world around us, however volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous, however frightening the multiple crises through which and in which we live, the future is certain. The gospel is still the good news. Christ has died, Christ is risen, Christ will come again. Let's celebrate. I hope you have a great week.